Hi, I'm Kim Skildum-Reid from Power Sponsorship in Sydney, Australia, and here's today's question. I want a job in sponsorship. Where do I start? My word, I get that in emails and messages every single day, because people want to be in this industry, and why wouldn't you? I mean, people want to be in sponsorship, and particularly in sports and major event sponsorship, because it's so desirable. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's fun, it's exciting, it's creative, it changes all the time, and then there's this social cred. I mean, seriously, it's like, when you get into this industry, you're suddenly doing things and seeing things and being places that mere mortals don't get to go, How many Super Bowls have I been to? 4, that kind of thing. Like, I've been to all sorts of cool things, and my friends all wish they had my job. How many hot laps have I had? Ooh, so many. And I love every single one of them. So it's really is desirable. And there's all sorts of really legit reasons to want to be in this industry. Getting into the industry is a whole other story, however, because it is so desirable and it's such a cool ass job. It means there's a lot of competition to get into it. So here is it depends on whether you're sort of new out of uni or you're switching careers or whatever, but I've got a bunch of advice. So the first thing is I want you to get as much practical experience as you can across any types of sponsorship. So literally when you're in university or even in high school, do internships or volunteer or get part-time jobs or get a university job that involves sponsorship, involves events, involves sports, right? So, you could be volunteering for a charity and working with the commercial or the revenue team, and you may end up just doing research and stuff like that, but that's all experience that's going to help you when it comes time to get your first real job in sponsorship. Doing internships, absolutely try to get internships, but if you want a job in sports sponsorship, don't knock back a job that involves sponsorship if it's at a festival or if it's at some other kind of major event or at a museum, or don't knock back other jobs in sponsorship, because the skills are all transferable and they all look good on your resume when you go for the job you really want. The other thing is, don't think that your kind of recent MBA, because everybody seems to have a recent MBA that contacts me and says, I can't seem to crack sponsorship, why am I not getting a job? Don't think your recent MBA or your BA in marketing or BA in business or BA in economics or whatever it is qualifies you for sponsorship, because most university courses aren't teaching best practice sponsorship. Even if they do have full courses in there on sponsorship, oftentimes it's a few steps behind where best practice is. And some university courses, it's like, well, you take a marketing you take a marketing degree, and as part of that, you get a public relations, you do a couple of public relations courses, and as part of one of the public relations courses, they talk about sponsorship for a week. And that's not atypical. I mean, there are some great sponsorship programs out there, but there are a lot of other ones that just kind of phone it in. So if you're thinking that's going to qualify you for a really gun sponsorship job, you're wrong. So you want to augment your degree with practical courses run by associations or trusted industry professionals, like the European Sponsorship Association, European Sponsorship Association, ESA. They have a diploma course that is outstanding. It's really good, and you don't have to be in Europe to take it. So look into that as a diploma course. I mean, there are people offering, online training. I have online training for that, and I'm going to put the links to that in the video description. So you can do some online training that will really augment your understanding of best practice. And so you'll be able to show, yes, I have the stick-to-itiveness to actually get a degree, but I also did this extra stuff to make sure that everything that I know is right up to date. So, and just by the way, in terms of that degree thing, I don't have one. I studied physics and maths in uni, and I left a couple of quarters short of graduating, and I never took a marketing or business course. So I literally, sort of scrapped it out and sort of weaseled my way into the industry and just worked really incredibly hard and ended up having quite a talent for it. So yay for me. Whew. So if you don't have a relevant degree, like I didn't, or no degree at all, like I also didn't, so I had most of a degree, but not a degree, you want to double down on getting into the industry on the ground floor and proving yourself. So literally, take any job going at a sports organization that interests you. Like, be a receptionist, be an admin, be a towel boy. I don't care. Just take whatever lowly job you can to get your foot in the door, and then let them know, as you're proving yourself, the direction that you want to go and develop within that organization. You could be an event production admin or assistant. You could do volunteer work at in the commercial or revenue team for a cultural organization or a charity or something like that. So there's all sorts of ways to get in on the ground floor. And again, those things are transferable. So if you can't get a job right now at one of your local professional sports groups, organizations, then look toward, big events, look toward charities, look toward cultural organizations, because all of those will count in terms of your understanding of the industry and how it all fits together with brands and all of that. So if you get a foot in the door, then again, let them know where you want to be. Indicate that you're happy to help out in that area as required. So you might be, if you are a receptionist in the sort of sponsorship, you're a receptionist in a rights holder, for instance, you could basically say, look, I'd be happy to handle some of the overflow stuff on busy times, coming out of the sponsorship or the commercial department. And that might mean extra work for you, but it also gets you noticed for those potential jobs opening up. Now, if you're looking for a corporate job as opposed to a rights holder job, and that's fair enough, generally speaking, your degree might count for more than in rights holders, where it's a little more flexible. Sometimes corporates basically say, we will not hire anybody for this level or above unless they have a degree, which or have a huge track record. So oftentimes, even if you want to get the corporate job, the easiest way to do that is still not easy, but is to work your way through and prove yourself on the rights holder and then make the jump across. Now again, and I've said this a couple of times, the skills are transferable. So if you're in uni, volunteer for a uni event. If you're, do work experience at events, cultures, cultural organizations, sports, et cetera, because all of that counts. But here's the kicker. Do expect to be underpaid and overworked in your first few years. At least a couple of years. Like literally, they will work you till you're about to drop. But you're also going to have more fun than you've ever had in your life. I mean, this was my experience, everybody's experience that I know. Their first couple of years in sponsorship, it's like you're doing laundry at the laundromat at 2 a.m. and you got a staff meeting at 7 a.m. and at 4 o'clock that next afternoon you're flying out to an event someplace that you've got to run, and your whole life looks like that for a couple of years, and it's okay. Like, it's fun. You're going to be eating like ramen noodles every night because you don't have enough money, and you're not going to get a lot of sleep. But it will be totally worth it. And at the end of that, you'll have proved yourself and you will be in line for an actual job. Now, here's the thing. Again, you're going to need to expect to be underpaid and underworked, be working on weekends, be working at nights. And this is a hilarious story from just a couple of years ago. There was this guy on LinkedIn, and he was like tagging people and all this, saying, I'm really interested in a job in corporate sponsorship in a major sports organization. And it was like, I don't want to be working any nights or weekends, and I shouldn't be working more than 40 hours a week and all this kind of stuff. In our industry, everybody in sponsorship, everybody in the sports industry had a look at this. And I mean, it went just viral around our industry. Everybody's looking at it going, oh my God, look at this idiot. He actually thinks he's going to get his first job in sports sponsorship and not work nights and weekends. Bah! It was just a complete and utter joke. I mean, a total joke. And so this is just, this is just something that you need to expect, is that if you do want to get into this world, which is worth it, it's so worth it, you're going to be, you're going to be worked to death. I mean, in my experience, I got out of uni realizing that I didn't want to do physics and math. What did I want to do? Well, I'd done marketing for my family's business since I was a mid-teenager, and had been going around to events for my family's business, sort of doing booths and sponsorships and stuff like that since I was like 16. And I thought, so I really enjoy that, and I'm kind of good at it, and I love sports. So I wonder if there's work in sports marketing or sports sponsorship. I don't know, not knowing that the industry was just exploding at the time. And I was one of literally hundreds of people that had applied. I didn't see the list, but I'm given to understand that there was like a squillion people that applied for a job, and I got an interview for this job, and it was the first actual employee of a few guys that had gotten together and started a brand new company. So it was a sponsorship startup, like sponsorship agency startup. And when I got there for my interview, it was late in the afternoon, and these three guys were sitting on the floor trying to get out a capabilities brochure by Federal Express, and there was like literally hundreds of Federal Express envelopes waiting to be stuffed. And so I did my interview with them sitting on the floor stuffing Federal Express envelopes. And I think the fact that I did sit right down and stuff envelopes while I was doing my interview is what got me that job. And I did. I spent the next 2.5 years being run off my feet and not making a lot of money and having an absolute total ball, and all my friends were jealous. Having mountains of laundry all the time and dust all over my apartment. But it worked. And that's the kind of thing that you need to actually resign yourself to, is that it's hard to get into this. You need to do whatever you can to get into this. That first job of mine was freaking receptionist. I was a receptionist, and then I started actually helping them to put together the events for the sponsors, and then I started running the events for the sponsors. Literally, that took less than a year to leap from one to that last thing. And I was running events all over the country in the United States. So, it's worth it. It is totally worth it, but it's hard work. Just make sure that you understand what goes into it and do the extra stuff. The volunteering, and start all that, the volunteering, the getting student jobs in this area. Start doing it right now. Start doing it right now so you can build up a little catalog of stuff that you can do in sponsorship. Need more assistance? Recommended additional resources and reading can be found in the video description. If you need professional help of the sponsorship type of course, I provide strategic sponsorship consulting, in-house and group training, keynote speeches, coaching, and sponsorship systems design for large, diverse, or far-flung organizations. Please note, I'm not a sponsorship broker, and I can't help you to secure sponsorship. There's also information in the video description about my comprehensive, on-demand online sponsorship courses for both sponsors and rights holders. Feel free to drop me a line if you have any questions about this video, or if you have a question you'd like me to address in another one of these Ask Me Anything videos. Contact details are in the description. If you found this video valuable, I suggest you subscribe to the channel so you hear about new how-to content as it becomes available. Thanks for watching, and happy sponsorship!